I had the opportunity this week, a very rare opportunity. It's the only time I've ever had a chance to do something like this. A friend of mine, this friend in Kansas City, knows James Taylor's assistant. Now, James Taylor is a phenomenal musician. When I found out that this friend of mine knew James Taylor's assistant, I said, how'd that happen? She said, well, years ago, I made a quilt, and each piece of the quilt, I put a saying from one of his songs on it. And I made this quilt, and I sent it to him, just mailed it to him. And he liked it so much that his assistant contacted me and said, next time we're in town, we want you to come and be a special guest. We want you to come early to the concert and come to the sound check, where you'll have the opportunity with just a few people to hear us set up and practice, and then we're going to take time to greet you, and then you can go to a special buffet, and then you can go to the concert. When you have the concert, you got VIP seating. You get to sit right down front. It's like, cool. And the assistant said, anytime that you want to come to a concert, doesn't matter where it is. So she went once to Scotland. She got to have the VIP treatment there. Okay? Well, we're just chatting back and forth on Facebook, and I said, how cool is that? I mean, James Taylor, what a guy. He is so incredible. And she says, you like him? I said, yeah. She said, could you make it to St. Louis on July 10th? Because he's in St. Louis then. And I said, well, I have to preach the next day, today. And so I don't think I could do that. And she said, well, wait a minute. United Center, Chicago, July 9th. What are you doing on July 9th? And I said, well, I hope I'm going to the James Taylor concert. And so she put me in touch with the assistant. The assistant contacted me, and she said, we're going to give you and your wife tickets to go see James Taylor and Carole King in concert. That was like way cool. Then my friend Barb said, why don't you ask the assistant about the sound check? And so I sent her an email, and I said, Barb told me about a sound check, and she said, would you like to go? I said, sure. So she sent me a thing that told all about it, that we arrive at 3:45 in the afternoon, and then we get to go to the sound check. We get a free program, and when they're done with the sound check, James Taylor, Carole King, they're going to come through. They're going to greet everybody. They're going to sign autographs in your book, wherever you want it signed. And then you get to go to a buffet, and then you get to have special seating. And I was like, oh, you're kidding me. This is wonderful. What a gift. And she said, I just want you to know that everybody else who has got this VIP thing, that they've spent $1,000 to get it. So just be nice. Well, it's hard to be nice, but I decided I'd go ahead and do it. So anyway, all this, not just to tell you this cool part of it, but there was a family there. When we arrived, everybody who had paid had these really nice lanyards and a big thing that said VIP on it. And we didn't have one of those. All I had was an email saying, we're going to give you your tickets at the sound check. And so they said, everybody who's got a VIP pass, come on in first, and then we'll take everybody else in. So everybody else, we came and they checked our name and made sure that we were on the list, and they let us in, and we were privileged guests from that point. There was Kathy and I, and there were a few others, and there was one family that had 6 members there. There was a grandmother and a grandfather. There was a daughter and a son-in-law, and there were 2 children, probably 6 and 7. So they came in with us, and so I knew they didn't have the little thing that they were special guests as well somehow. And so we were helping people get pictures and stuff. They needed me to take a picture of their family, so I did, and they took a picture of us. And then I said, so how did you get the opportunity to come here? And the grandfather I was talking to, he says, well, where are you from? I said, I'm from Glen Ellen. He says, I'm from Wheaton. Been there for 30 years. I said, been here for 22 years. Pretty cool. And so how'd you get the opportunity to come? And he said, let me let her tell you. So his wife, the grandmother, choked up, and she said, my daughter, who's here, had 3 children. The 8-year-old boy, his middle name was James. And so every night she would sing to him Sweet Baby James, which is one of James Taylor's songs. So every night she would sing him Rockabye Sweet Baby James. He died 2 months ago, and the family was just devastated. We didn't ask about the circumstances, but the grandparents live here in Wheaton. The family lives in Denver. And so she sent an email to James Taylor and said, just want to let you know how important that song is to us. Because I always sang Sweet Baby James to my little boy, and he passed away. Well, he contacted them directly and said, please come be our guest when we're in Denver, which is next week. And they said, we can't. We're going to be in Wheaton visiting my parents. He said, I'm going to be at the United Center. Please come be our guest. Bring your whole family. We would love for you to be there. And so they came, and we met them and just grieved with them over this whole thing. What a precious thing it was. But when it came time for the sound check, they did a song that they were going to do that night, and then he said, let's do Sweet Baby James. And so we had a private concert, about 120 close friends, and he did a private concert with Sweet Baby James. And then he came through, and Carole King and James Taylor came through and talked to everybody, took time with everybody. When they got to that family, he just threw his arms around the family, each one, and they cried together. It was amazing. And when the concert started, they played for 3 hours, and it was in the second half that he said, they brought the lights down and they said, everybody's happy to be here. This is a wonderful, wonderful night. We are happy to be here, and we're glad that you're happy to be here. It said, some people carry special burdens, and there's a family here tonight carrying a special burden. So he said, I just want to dedicate this song to this special family, and he called them by name. Nobody else in the place knew what was going on except for those that were at the sound check. And I turned to the guy next to me that I didn't know and said, let me tell you about what he just did. And I explained it to the guy next to me, and he said, that is just amazing. The point is, sometimes because of special circumstances, we need more watering than other times. And so we need to be aware of those around us that are going through difficult times, that because of their circumstances, they need more watering, okay? I just encourage you to look around and see not only who's here, but who's not here, because we've got a lot of folks that aren't here right now. Maybe they need special watering. Maybe they need a contact from you. Maybe they need a contact from many of us, right? Just to let them know that they're missed. Maybe they need some special watering right now because of their circumstances.